Hi, welcome to Three of Cups Divine Arts and Divination Station TV. This is Liz. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to jump online here. So again, it is Monday. My shows are on Monday or Moon Day, and we had some crazy moon activity. Full moon was on Friday, the 13th, technically 12:12 a.m. And I know that brought some pretty intense energy to pretty much everyone I've talked to. So, hopefully, we're kind of getting back in the swing of a little bit more calm energy. But, with all of the winter holidays approaching, I can hardly think that that is true. I'll go ahead and do a little bit of chit chat for a few minutes, and then we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see. Had a busy weekend. I am back at Lush at our local mall, and so I've been working there for holidays, selling gifts, all that. It's been awesome. I love it there. So that's been one of my highlights and kind of stressy points for the week. I also got winter jeans at Target, and they're kind of awesome. They're a little bit like felty on the inside. My roommate got a pair, and I had to get some. So yes, that was another high point of my weekend, getting comfy winter jeans. So I'll go ahead and start here. Welcome to Divination Station TV. I'm Liz Whitaker, your host for this broadcast. Today, I will be talking about the Empress. When you join the live broadcast, please take a moment to drop your name, where you come from, and your pronouns in the comments. If you are watching the replay, please comment #replay so we know you're interested in the replay, and we can also see your comments. And those are just as important to us as, the lives. I know I caught up on some of the lives that I was not able to watch. I caught up on some of the shows, and it's amazing content. So definitely do that. Remember to share the broadcast and comment #shared in the comments so we know who shared. And don't forget to wow, react, like, heart this video, share to your page, tag your friends in the comments. You'll not only be helping us organically improve our reach, but you'll also be helping others that might be interested in our content. And if people are interested, I'd like them to find me. I hope you do enjoy this show this evening, and I do look forward to getting to know you better. Again, I'm Liz Whitaker, host of Divination Station TV. I specialize in tarot, education, and readings. I'm also an intuitive life coach, so I do offer coaching services as well, where I use different modalities such as tarot, pendulums, oracle cards. I can do spell work, and I'm also learning about palmistry. I'm always learning about something new, and that happens to be my next thing. Outside of the divine arts, I just like hanging out with my cats, reading, listening to podcasts, catching up on Netflix shows that everybody's watched 4 years ago. I'm LGBT plus and polyamory friendly. My pronouns are she and her. I'm the owner of Divination Station and Liz Whitaker Intuitive Life Coaching, and an admin of Divination Station group on Facebook. I'd love to see your name on the page in the group, as well as here on Three of Cups Divine Arts. Please comment, any questions that you might have. You can also direct any questions or requests for appointments to my page directly. And as always, Facebook Live is real, so I will go ahead and try and catch your comments as they come in. Looks like we do have someone joining us here, so we'll wait for them to comment. Again, when you join the live broadcast, please take a moment, drop your name, your pronouns, where you are, and if you are watching the replay, please contact please comment hashtag replay so we know you are interested in that replay as well. All right. So again, we're going to be talking about the Empress today. So last week, we went over the High Priestess. We talked about her intuition. We talked about how she receives information from the universe. She's the wisdom gatherer. All of our intuition goes back to the High Priestess. When we need to feel that, we tap into her. We'd use her in guided meditations. Today, we are talking about the Empress. So again, one of the divine feminine energies. Just a little bit different from the High Priestess. The Empress is a little bit more active in creation. She is, okay, looks like we got a couple people joining. I'm waiting for their introductions in there. Oh, it's all right. We're just getting started. Hi, Becky. So we have the Empress. She's a divine feminine in motion and creation. She is represented by the number 3. So we have the 3 up there. 3 is creation. She is the sexual and maternal aspect of the divine feminine. She represents the earth element. She has a connection to the stars as well. And you can see her in her crown. She has 12 stars. Those are representative of the 12 signs of the zodiac. So she's got that earthly delights surrounding her, as well as the crown that connects her to the stars. So when I see her, one of the things I think of is kind of wild woman in the woods. Women Who Run with Wolves. If you've ever read that book, I would highly recommend it. She's free. She's flowing. She kind of goes and does as she wants. She's on a very comfortable chair, and she's surrounded by that lush greenery. She's ruled by Venus. You can see the Venus. You can see the symbol for Venus over there. And romance and love and comfort come from her. So those really warm, like cozy feelings of being loved. And Venus also represents Taurus. And Taurus has that really great earth energy. So to me, she kind of does represent like Venus and Taurus, which just happens to be where my Venus is. So she, not only enjoys, the kind of creature comforts, but she enjoys being surrounded by the life that she has created, whether it's, plants, pets, children, her art. If you're an artist, I'm not a visual artist, but she loves to be surrounded by creation and tools of creation. She symbolizes the goddess Demeter and her ability to create life. So you can see her gown has the pomegranates. All right, Becky shared to Facebook and Twitter. I'm real bad at Twitter. I'm not good at that, so thank you. Karen, hi. So Demeter, is part of the Demeter Persephone descent into Hades mythology. So she represents the mother figure, the Demeter figure, where in the summertime when everything is blooming and beautiful, she's happy. In the winter, when Persephone descends back into the underworld, things kind of dry out. So it's that cycle. So she always also represents that cycle. So again, if you are just joining us, if you could please pop in, give your name, Give your pronouns where you are. Help us get to know you a little bit better. These are going to be interactive, so feel free to throw any questions in there. I'm going to try to keep up as much as I can. So she has that ability to kind of create and sustain life. The stream she sits in, you can kind of see here, there is a stream. Let's see if I can get that in there. So we talked about in the High Priestess that this stream is flowing from her. This holds that intuition and wisdom flowing down. It's bringing the wisdom of the High Priestess to her. The Empress brings to life what the High Priestess feels. So if the High Priestess can feel it, the Empress can create it. They are the two halves of that divine feminine energy. So if you think of women, anybody, people in your life that kind of have these two different energies, that High Priestess energy is going to be someone you just instinctively, them, even if you don't know them. You trust them. The things that they say are, unintentionally profound. The Empress is that energetic. She gives that energy, that spark of life to those ideas and the intuition that the High Priestess kind of shows you. She is the joy of being loved and the joy of feeling love. So you give love, you feel love. That's that Empress energy. It's a joy of saying yes to things that make you happy. She definitely reminds me of, someone that does say, yes to things that make her happy. She comes up in a reading. It can also, I like to look at the cards that kind of come up around her too. When she comes up, pay attention to what's around her. She gives life to what is around her, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a new business. It can also mean pregnancy. I've done a couple readings where that came through really strongly. And I followed my intuition and I said it, and that's what, the particular client was aiming for. She encourages productivity and allows projects to flourish. I think of her as kind of touching the ground and watching the plants bloom and blossom. Just caught the end of Moana yesterday. And when, the Tafiti gets her heart and she kind of goes back into home, and every step she takes, all of the beauty of the flora kind of bursts from her. That's what I think of with that High Priestess energy. Thank you. Becky says she likes the comparison and combination of the Empress and the High Priestess. I like to look at cards, as what are their comparison contrast? What are they about? How do they complement each other? And I really think, it can be key to understanding one card by understanding another. And High Priestess, I am, but she's working towards that next step. Yes, and that is she, capital She. Yes. So there are different ways when you need to feel like you need to connect with the Empress energy. Connecting with the High Priestess energy was more about kind of calling her in, picturing that white light, doing meditation, doing guided meditation, doing a lot of internal work. And I think the Empress is kind of all about incorporating things around you into what you're working with. One of the books that I'm working from right now is called Modern Tarot by Michelle T, and I don't have it over here right now. But she had some really good tips to kind of connect with that energy. Connect with a group. Threes are the number, she's represented by the number 3. And threes are also suggesting of group work and cooperation. So join a group if you really are looking for that kind of like divine feminine energy, kind of like lifting itself up. I love seeing, there's so many groups right now of like women lifting women up, um, women lifting, just people up. And I love that. So that's one way that you can kind of tap into that Empress energy and really like unlock it in yourself, is doing some, magical witchy things with some magical witchy people. Even, joining a book club or cooking club, something like that, where you are sitting, with other women, you're creating, you're discussing that, just discussing, like in a book club, that discussion is creation. You are discussing, you're putting words to your thoughts. And that's, kind of that whole progress of High Priestess to Empress, putting the words and the action to the thoughts. Yes, thank you. So a lot of times, I have seen readers get caught up in Empress equals this, Empress equals pregnancy, or nurturing, or, something having to do with that maternal side, mother figure. And I see it. And when, that's what it is, it definitely comes through. But I also look at her as that, kind of unleashing that wild feminine energy, as well as that nurturing energy. And Becky also said she doesn't come up in a lot of her, hasn't come up very often though. So if you're kind of getting, stuck in a meaning, but it's not coming up a lot, I would say, instead of looking at it as that's kind of being stuck, when it does come up, really kind of do a deep dive on that energy, see what's around it, see why you're feeling stuck with that energy, and kind of do some of that work. Like, why, what is limiting me? What is my limiting belief around this card right now? And then I would, do some, like, I would apply some like life coaching questions to that, as far as self-limiting beliefs, as far as blockages, like what is blocking that? So getting together with other people and really creating that. Self-care rituals. Like, I mean, the Empress to me just kind of really screams like, take care of yourself, make yourself feel good. Say yes to what makes you feel good. Either alone, so, doing the ritual baths, doing full moon, new moon rituals, things like that. Setting your space, doing some cleaning. I just say that because I know I need to. Amy, hi. And some ideas of different herbs and incense to kind of use when working with Empress energy. Amber. Frankincense is probably one of my favorites. If you do any work with deities, pretty much everybody loves frankincense. Sandalwood, again, sandalwood just really kind of puts me in that headspace. This is Doodles, so say hi to. Oh my gosh, he is not a small boy. He's a very large boy. There's not a lot of room up here for him right now. And cinnamon can help you bring different aspects of the Empress and into your life and bring you closer to that energy. So whether you're trying to embody that creation, that good friend feel, that mothering feel, that nurturing feel, there's going to be different things that you can kind of use to pull that in. I'm going to move a couple things here so he doesn't knock some things over. A book I did just get to that I really haven't had a chance to look at because it just came in the mail today was the Ultimate Guide to Rider-Waite Tarot. It was not, I've seen the information and I thought it was going to be a lot thicker, but it's really concise in the way that it is written. I did check out the Empress today just because I knew I was talking about her. So I'm just going to do a little, just kind of like let you know what symbols are in here. And this is, again, I just got this book and I was pretty excited to look at it. So what it does is it kind of looks at the 10 symbols. I'm so sorry, you can't really see this. The 10 most important symbols. So I talked about the green, I talked about the trees and the waterfall, red throne on the gray ground. And I've never, I know color plays into it a lot, as kind of coming from that Golden Dawn tradition where they have a lot of emphasis put on colors. So I'm just going to go ahead and read this from the book. The red and orange is the lifeblood and passion, the Empress's emotions, surrounded by grayness. So it indicates kind of an impartiality. Stone, negative is stone instead of bread. Hard-heartedness and lovelessness. So just reading that kind of reminds me of some of the like swords, like Queen of Swords. So reading that, I'm going to actually pull Queen of Swords next to this when I get off. So Becky is asking again. It is the Ultimate Guide to the Rider-Waite Tarot by Johannes Feibig and Evelyn Berger. So it looks like it's a really nice overview with some really deep meaning on the symbolism of each of the cards. Like I said, there's definitely some that you're probably have picked up on without even knowing that you did. And there's going to be some like, and of course, yeah, definitely link it on Amazon. So there is going to be a link there. And in case you didn't see the post earlier, there is a kind of like entrance to Amazon. I'm sorry, I don't know what to call that, where Three of Cups will actually get like a little bit of a benefit from if you shop through that link. So definitely pin that because that's just going to, kind of be good for everybody. So it's going to have those symbols that you've definitely seen and probably didn't realize that they were such important symbols. And then there's going to be some like the red on the gray that I may have not really commented on before, but now knowing that, I'm going to look at that in a little bit of a different light. And I am going to look at it in comparison to Queen of Swords energy. So just so you are aware of where that money is going to go, it's going to be improving equipment for our talent, and it's going to benefit everybody on the network. So if you follow the Amazon link that's pinned in the Three of Cups Divine Arts page, it's going to help us all out. So definitely do that. So yeah, that's, kind of what I have for the Empress. So when you see it come up, think of that, you can think of the mother type, the nurturing. You can also think of that like, oh my gosh, glamping just popped into my head. I've never done it. I'm not a huge outdoors person. I'm going to be honest, but kind of camping in the wilderness, but you have a really like comfy bed and you have all of your like, you have your French press, it's kind of like that. So that kind of just came down as I was talking about it. All right, and that link's right over there if you are interested in getting the book. It's going to be through the Three of Cups link. So definitely recommend it if you're looking to deep dive the Rider-Waite deck. I will be using it when I'm researching the educational part of my videos. I'm going to add that to all of the other books that I use. And, of course, with these cards, there is much more to them. I'm trying to do, kind of hitting all the bases and allowing you to kind of have that springboard. Oh, geez. And my other cat just miscalculated and fell off the couch. Sorry. Well, thank you. Becky says she loves the way I teach the cards. Thank you. So yeah, I'm not doing really intense, really deep dive episode learning, but I want you to know, a little bit about it and what I look at and what I think of when I see the cards. So following the Fool's Journey, we're now into that creative step, that like, what can I do with all of these things? We're in that step now. The High Priestess is like, what could everything be? And the Empress is like, how can I make everything? She's got like all the ideas. And my cat is chewing on the tree. Cool. So now we're going to go ahead and talk about the cards from last week. So if you are here, yes, you gotta love the kitties. And Becky says she didn't have as many of these resources. Oh, I didn't either. When I started learning, yeah, it was the little white books. I think I picked up some like bargain books from like Barnes & Noble or Borders. I know I got a couple from Borders. Eden Gray had her books out. She was one of the first that kind of compiled tarot lessons. And actually that might be, I'm going to address that at some point, kind of tarot resources and where I get my information and what I've collected and read over the years. I did have a book that I grew up with. Neither of my parents claim ownership to this book, so I have no idea. But I grew up with a vintage book on tarot, and it's over on my bookshelf over there. But I did have, oh yeah, making most of my tarot books in the past 5 years or so. If you make a compilation, oh, I definitely will. I definitely will make a compilation. One of the things that I've kind of been floating is kind of doing like reviews, like deck reviews, book reviews, that aren't necessarily going to fit the flow of, the Fool's Journey. But I might be able to, I might squeeze it in there. But Eden Gray, was definitely one of the first ones to start writing. There were books on, Thoth after, the Thoth deck, and Aleister Crowley. He wrote some resources for his deck. Some of the older resources use the Marseille deck. But I'll grab some of my vintage tarot books that I have hanging around, and I'll kind of talk about each one of them, maybe going forward too. Facebook kicked me out of the video. Yeah, as I was talking, I kind of feel like I hit a glitch there, and it kind of like glitched me, but so far it hasn't been bad today. So last week, our 3-card pull, so our moon day forecast from last week was King of Cups, Death, and Ace of Cups. So we kind of talked about that yesterday, kind of the conclusion of the Suit of Cups. And actually, after looking at the Empress, you can see he kind of has that gray base too. So there's some disconnectedness. And usually when I pull the King of Cups, there is that disconnect from your emotion and your logic. So I would actually bet that is in that book that I was just talking about, that the link is there. Death, so transformation. And, I think I commented on, we are going from one year to the other. My roommate has balloons, and I think she's trying to swallow balloons, because of course she is. And my phone fell. So 1 moment. So just the kind of winding down energy of the year. And it's going to bring that transformative energy. I mean, I'm really hoping so. And Becky did you did mention, I believe, on the last when we went through this that was probably going to happen. So I'm sorry for your loss, and that was an actual um, literal death and transformation. And then going into hold on. She was chewing the balloon ribbons.
No, I see,
okay.
But I don't know where she went.
Yes, I can definitely feel that energy like mounting, and I'm actually not even attributing it so much to the holidays, because like I said, I'm in retail right now, so I'm around all of that energy, and it's almost like people are, I don't want to say hesitating, but people are not really in the spirit as much as they have been. People are a little bit more hesitant. It's like they're there, they're looking, but it's like people are it's almost like a waiting energy, like they're just waiting for something to happen. And I'm really hoping that that we all find a release with the new year. Oh yeah, we're all ready for 2019 to like, and 2020, new year, new decade. And I'll probably look at this, but it's going to be an emperor year. We'll get into a little bit of numerology with that when it happens, but I'm a tad partial to the emperor energy, which is not a really common idea in tarot readers, I feel. But I am an Aries. I'm very Aries. I have a lot of fire ruling my chart. I do have a lot of that emperor energy. So I almost feel that it's needed at this point. This has been, and Becky said, this has been a difficult year for a lot of people. And I feel like what you're trying to say is we're holding our breath, waiting for the new year to come and give us a new opportunity. Yeah. Astrologically, it's a big year. So absolutely. And I think that's what the Ace of Cups is going to be. It's going to be that that release and that kind of bringing in and accepting that new energy, that new love, and that can actually go along with the Empress today, of joy, just joy for the sake of it. We really need it. Like we all really need that right now. We're getting into the doldrums of winter. Buffalo, New York is not necessarily known for its bright and sunny days. Well, we've actually had a few more than I feel that are usual. Usually it's nice. It's like nice. I like it. It's gray. It's dreary. The sky is the same color as the clouds, the same color as, the water if you're driving by the river. And I like it, but it does kind of bring people down. And I'm perpetually, D deficient. So I shouldn't like it as much as I do, but I do. Huge Capricorn energy coming up next year. So you might want to pay extra attention to the Devil card. Great point. And I'm going to be consulting with my astrologer collaborator and, really kind of deep dive what's going to come up next year. So that was our poll for last week. And as I'm shuffling these, I just want to go over some of the Empress cards that I have kind of ready to go. So as always, we're going to look at the Marseille deck. So again, she has that 3. She has her scepter. She's on her throne. This one, her posturing kind of reminds me of Queen of Wands. Looks like she's taking up space. So we kind of have that, like, she's there, she's taking up space. And that's, I think, where a lot of people get that she represents maternity and maternal energy, is they feel that they look like she's sitting like a pregnant woman. Well, maybe she just wants to spread her legs and kind of like hang out a bit, take up some space on the subway. What do they call that? Man spreading? She's woman spreading. It's fine. So here we have her. She's got that red, so she's got that passion, and then the blue is that kind of like peaceful color. And then the gold is royal. And then we have the Empress in the Thoth deck. So we kind of see her sitting. We have that same emblem on the shield that she had in the Marseille deck. The scepter that she's holding here looks a little bit more like a lotus flower. And on her head, it looks like she's also wearing that kind of triple moon headpiece that the high priestess wears. It looks like she's got a little bit more going around her. She's got that, got the swan with the, and I believe, yep, she's got the swan on the pomegranates. So there you have that Demeter energy, you know, that mothering energy. And this is a little bit softer than I think some of the cards, like color-wise. So that's the Thoth deck. And down here, of course, you're going to see the astrological correspondence and then the Hebrew letter, which I am not great at Kabbalic interpretation. That is not in my field of expertise, and that is okay. There are a lot of people that read tarot and read Thoth that way. I don't have to read it every way, and that's okay. Tarot of the Cat people. So we have her, and at her feet, we have, it's almost like a protective figure. The way that the cat is kind of looks like an ocelot with a big fluffy tail. But again, she's got her scepter, and she's got her, like, looks like a nice big luxurious coat. So we have that that kind of like earthy energy there, that comfort, that Taurus energy. And she's got her, you know, headdress on, clearly indicates like a royalty there. And some of the shapes are, you know, round like the pomegranate. And then just to give some other examples of Empress energy. This is from the Lioness Oracle Tarot. And I love these cards. They're in collage style. So they're going to have, they're not going to be typically Rider-Waite centric. But here, you know, she is holding an orange, and the figure is kind of overtaken by the roses, by the flowers. And it is a very like feminine, very female look to the flowers. Of course, she's in the galaxy. She is ready to kind of open up and create all of those energies. This one has kind of been one of my favorites. It's a Dark Angels Tarot. It really speaks to the 90s baby witch in me, like 100%. So here you see her, she still has a scepter. She's in the woods. She's looking almost a little bit guarded. And, you know, again, she has that shield that is represented in the Thoth and the Marseille deck. So she's got her shield. Are they roses or are they orchids? So it looks like there's a rose in the bottom, and then there are orchids. And then the one that's kind of on her torso, it looks like two orchids together, kind of creating a heart, or like kind of like a womb entrance is really what that feels like to me. So yeah, we have her, and she's got her, you know, she's on her throne. It looks like in a cliff, and she has like I'm picturing like the fuzzy fur blanket. And she just does not look like someone to really come in and mess with. So I really love this Empress energy. And that is, again, the Dark Angels Tarot. And this one is the Russian Tarot of St. Petersburg. So again, we're going to have that idea of the symbol on the shield. You know, she's holding her scepter, and she's all, you know, in her finery. You don't get so much the idea of the external world, the natural world in this one. She does have the flowers embroidered on her gown. and just has, you know, that overall, like, that feel. And the last one I wanted to look at today, it's from the King Arthur Tarot. So we have the Empress here, and represented by Guinevere. So she's going to represent those qualities. So here she has her harp, and, you know, behind her we do have the idea of, we have the symbol of Venus, and the purples and the greens, and then the snakes coming, you know, kind of around her. So it has all those different natural representations. And Karen says, I really like that done. Thank you. What else was I going to say? Oh, she does have stars on her crown too. Again, the artwork in this is very light colored. I haven't been able to get very good pictures with it. But I figured I might try to kind of show the deck here. So in all of the examples, the idea is the same, that divine feminine, taking up space in the wilderness, taking up space in space, and just kind of ready to move forward, ready to create. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pull cards for the week ahead. And yeah, tomorrow I'm really hoping to catch up on the rest of the videos that I haven't been able to catch. It's been good at work. All right, give them a little bit more. If anybody has any questions or comments or anything, go ahead and pop them in the comments. All right. So the first one is going to be Three of Wands. So Three of Wands energy is like almost like looking to the future. We're ready to go. You know, we're ready energetically. We're ready to go. There's a new path ahead, and we're looking to move forward. But first, we got to get through this. You know, it is a huge shift from death from last week, and I think it's that necessary shift. You know, how are we going to get there? And, you know, we gotta get through it somehow. We gotta get through some stress, you know, and I think with the holidays, I really think that this is kind of going to be there for everybody, like depending on, you know, no matter kind of what winter holiday you celebrate, you know, there's always reminders of capitalist Christmas, and how can that not be stressful? I love Christmas, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's really felt more and more like perpetuating the cycle of stuff. So I think kind of getting through that. And then what do we got? Excellent. So again, after that, again, a huge, you know, kind of energetic shift. So we have that Three of Wands energy kind of really leading us up to the end of the year. You know, still kind of getting through some stress, and really, you know, kind of managing that is going to be key, kind of tapping into, you know, some self-care, you know, kind of be the Empress for yourself for a little bit. Make it okay to not be perfect. That's kind of what came through with this. You know, perfection is the enemy of progress. Make it okay to not have everything perfect. We always try, again, no matter what you're celebrating, if you're not celebrating, you're surrounded by people that are. And then coming to the Six of Wands. Victory. You know, we made it. we made it through. We're there. We're so close. And yes, it is going to be a good week. Nine of Swords aside, it's going to be a great week. And I think that Nine of Swords, is just, something that we're all going to have to work through, but it's kind of flanked by, that energy that's going to kind of help propel us through that kind of our thoughts, our thoughts of maybe not being good enough, not getting enough for this person. Am I getting, at equal amounts for, this person? Whatever. That's all of that stress, try to put it aside. Oh, what am I going to cook? Is my house clean enough? Yeah, it's going to be a good week. Try to, not focus on those things. Nine of Swords does refer to waking up for a nightmare. It's not just being caught. Yes. 8 is being trapped. 9 is waking up. So it is going to be good. And, kind of weighing us down. So we're going to get through that. So I'm going to shuffle here, and I'm going to do a couple readings. I think Facebook has been glitchy and kind of kicking people out, and people have kind of been popping out and coming back in. So after the tarot tip, if you do want a reading, just go ahead and type yes, and we'll get that. I'll pull a card for you. So tarot tip of this week, I just wanted to briefly touch on reversals. Do you have to read with them? No. What are reversals? So reversal is when, you pull a card and it comes up reversed. So if I pull this and it comes up like that, that's a reverse. You don't have to read with them. I know a lot of readers don't. I personally don't when I'm reading at events or parties. Definitely don't read with them at parties. If I'm doing, an individual reading, a personal reading, sometimes people, when they cut the deck, will kind of pop, and put them in the wrong way, and then I shuffle them in the reverse, and that's fine. I'll read them reversed because that's how it was meant for that client. If you get the little white book, sometimes it will look like they are writing the meanings of reversals as like opposite, and it's not quite opposite. Like there's some cards where, you can't really have an opposite. I tend to read them as either energies that are incoming or outgoing, and depending on what's around them as well. So just my, and there's definitely a lot more to talk about with reversals, but that's just my little tarot tip. Do you have to read with the reversals? No. If you don't want to, don't do it. It's fine. If you want to, do it. It's all up to how you feel. I know it's kind of one of those myths that, you have to shuffle your deck certain ways and comes up with reversals and you have to read them and it's what the universe wants, and you don't have to read with reversals. But yeah, kind of like Becky said, it's if they're pop in here and there, that's intended. But I don't intentionally set it that way. The reversal is like a planetary retrograde. And it's funny because we were talking about that. And when we were doing the tarot and astrology class, we talked about that for a good amount of time, how it's like retrograde. It's not always opposite, but it's kind of like it pulls back and it comes back like that. So yeah, we, definitely same wavelength there. We actually talked about, kind of tossing that idea, for a more, for either a class or a discussion or something like that. So yeah, I love it. All right. I know Becky wants a card, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we're going to get the Hermit. Hard to do right now. You did make a comment about social pressure, all that. And yeah, the stress isn't so much social. I'm going to go ahead and venture a guess that you definitely feel feel that stress. And yeah, how you wish. So I would say in, this crazy time, if you can get, 15 minutes, really kind of take 15 minutes to like hermit out. And I know it's not a long time, um, but really kind of take the time that you can get and do things with intention. If you are cooking, baking, cleaning, and you are not directly in contact, with someone, do it with intention, and you can kind of get that hermit energy in there. So it's all about intentionality. I wish I had an extra day where I could just sit home and research and get my notebooks out and get my books and, really do some, intense, like scholarly hermit work. But sometimes I settle for, taking a book to work and finding, the chapter of the section that I know I need to research for my class or, these videos, and kind of go with that. All right. So yeah, kind of hit everything here. Again, if you are still, on the pot, if you are still here and you do want a card, I will go ahead and pull one for you. When it comes to self-care, Becky says she would have expected the Hangman. But I think the Hermit is actually really a message from my guides about specifically what I need to be working on right now. Yes. And when I see the Hermit, for me, as an introvert who puts herself out there a lot, I get the Hermit when it tells me to pull back. The Hangman, for me, is an energy telling me to slow down, kind of put the reins on what I'm doing right now, because as Aries Sun, Aries Moon, Aquarius rising, I tend to not really pull back much, and that's my sign to do that. So I think that's interesting too, that these cards can be, can mean a little bit different, depending on how our guides, intend them. And Karen says she just got out of her Hangman cycle. Good. And that's usually a pretty freeing feeling to move forward after that pause. All right, and I will go ahead and pull. I think Karen's still on here. Like I said, we've had people popping in and out from the glitch. So Karen, I do believe you shared. So we'll go ahead and do one more card pull. King of Pentacles. So Karen was saying she just got out of her Hangman cycle. So getting the King of Pentacles is a really good like affirmation for that. King energy is that like arrived energy. It's that authority energy. And Pentacles, earth energy. Pentacles are, kings are, fire, so it's fire of earth. Yes. So, and it's kind of that energy of being surrounded by the fruits of your labor. So everything that you've really worked hard for, you've gone through, all of this cycle in the Pentacles, and you kind of land here. And you're kind of able to like sit back and relax and, really kind of enjoy that. Yes, you can have your cake and eat it too. You deserve it. Hard work through the cycle and kind of getting there gives you a little bit of breathing room. It's also, someone that can also support others. and whether that's, being supportive, being there for them. Wow, that's a hangman for 12 years is a long time. So it's really good to kind of get out of that. You're really going to feel good in that energy. All right. Well, we are at just about that time. So I do want to thank everybody that joined me for joining me. If you are catching this on the replay, please comment #replay, and I'll be sure to kind of go ahead and pop in and comment along the way. Thank you for being here with us at Three of Cups Divine Arts. Don't forget to tag your friends in the comments and invite them to like our page, Three of Cups Divine Arts. And they can catch more great shows like Divination Station TV. Remember, you can catch me, Liz Whitaker, at Divination Station Tarot for more of what you've seen tonight. I'll be happy to answer any questions through Messenger on my page. You can see the services that I offer in the tarot realm and life coaching. So yeah, go ahead, like my page, join my group. I'll go ahead and approve you. Three of Cups Divine Arts, like the page and kind of hit the bell that's kind of in the upper right. You're gonna get notified whenever anybody on the page goes live. And go ahead and like that. And there's also a Three of Cups Divine Arts group. There's going to be some really great stuff in that group. So as you're on the page, kind of follow it through, find the link for the group and request to join. And approvals are done on Friday to make sure that, kind of everybody gets welcomed in. So if you go ahead and, on a PC, if you hover over the bell and select to get notified for all, that would be great. So yeah, if you are on Three of Cups, go ahead and join the group too. Again, you'll get approved on Friday. So if it's taken a couple days, that's why. So yeah, we're going to wrap up here. And I hope you all have a great week. And we'll see you back here next week. Let me know if you are watching this in a replay. Let me know if a little bit later on a Monday would be better for you. We're really kind of trying to hit our stride with making sure that we are putting out content and shows when people want to watch them. So if 8 o'clock is a little bit better, let me know. But all right. And have a great week.